Hi, this is Gun226 here today, looking at the Civilian Arms Training Source. I just completed the Level 1 Defensive Tactical Handgun course. It's basically an intermediate course to the C.A.R.S system. It's a center axis relock. Now, it definitely has some advantages to it, but I think it might also have a couple disadvantages, which maybe they'll cover a little bit later in the other courses that I'm going to take. I'm also going to take the, after this one is the IPDS. It's Personal Defense Systems class. And then you go to Tactical Handgun Level 2. And I think at that point they cover some more long-range shooting. It's definitely a very strong system for close-quarter combat. It has a very excellent weapons retention aspect to it, and it's very quick to acquire a target. One of the other advantages that I found is it has the felt recoil that you feel is a lot less. So that's a really good thing for some people who have difficulty handling recoil, maybe in the larger calibers. So this is the class book. They provided this book, but we had to purchase it. It was at an additional cost to the class. Right now, I think the classes are running, if you just show up, or if you sign up online and show up, it's $140 for a class. And if you go to the gun show, which I went and got my certificate at, it's $40 for a certificate, and then $20 range fee. So it's very reasonable. One of the unique things about Civilian Arms is they're all volunteers. All the instructors are volunteer instructors. They believe so much in this system that they volunteer their own time to go out to the range and be an instructor. So that's really amazing. That's the only school that I know of that actually has just volunteer instructors pretty much exclusively. Let me adjust this a little bit and get some better resolution, maybe. So here's some of the book. I did ask permission of the owner, Tim George, if I could do this, and he said, yeah, this is all material. They might be available. They might have these available online at some point in the future. So anyway, just some of the things that they went over. I'm not sure how well you can read these, but just basic handgun fundamentals, some safety procedures, defensive concept, what's going on with that. One of the things that they're really concerned about is people being safe at the range. So the safety procedures are really heavily emphasized throughout the class. Under all circumstances and all conditions, safety is the first priority. There's some additional fundamentals. Let me go over the, at this point maybe give you the grip. You do a basic grip on the gun. They want you to have your finger at all times up here on the frame, which is typical for most gun people, unless you're acquiring target. Now the one unique thing, and this is a little bit hard for me to grasp initially, I'm used to an isosceles stance. I started out with a Weaver many years ago. I think maybe before isosceles existed, who knows. But I've since converted to isosceles stance. But this one's a little different. You actually hold the firearm at about a 45-degree angle. See if I can get this on camera. And then you take your other hand and you wrap it around, and your two thumbs are supposed to have some opposing, basically it's isometric pressure against each other. So you're like this. So while it's an interesting, at first it was initially uncomfortable, but as I shot with it a little bit more, it became more comfortable over time. Now I'm typically, you always see me holding the gun with my right hand, and many years ago when my father started to teach me, it was always with my right hand. So even though I'm a left-handed person, I've always shot right-handed until for the first 5-6 years probably, and then I switched over to my left hand. And ever since then, I've been really accustomed to shooting with my left hand. However, this class, the system, maybe it's here a little bit later. Since you're holding it with your right hand, and you have it at a 45-degree angle, and this hand comes wrapping around, it naturally goes to your left eye. So you're shooting with your right hand, and you're aiming with your left eye. And that is extremely foreign to me. Usually I'm left hand and I'm shooting. I'm shooting with my left hand. So it was a whole different system for me. It's a whole different feeling. Even though I had shot before with my right, I haven't really done it in many years. So I had to go out and I had to get a special right-handed holster and that kind of stuff, just for that. So if you're cross-eye dominant and you're right-handed, you're in perfect situation for this system. I guess other people, they get accustomed to the system over a period of time. So I'm hoping that'll be the case with me as well. I'll be able to shoot with my right hand and use my left eye as I'm accustomed to doing. So it just seems to work out well for people who do that. Now, I guess one of the other things that they really emphasize is the scan. After you're done firing, they want you to keep scanning for targets. They always come in at least twos. You never have just one single problem. Many times they come in pairs. So that's one of the big emphases that they have. They go through the standard loading and unloading. They do taking a knee. They always want to reduce your exposure, take cover if at all possible. Now they do clearing, standard clearing malfunctions and stuff like that. Now, one of the issues that I have is when I was taught to clear malfunctions, I was taught to do it in a certain way. Now, when they say, okay, create a stovepipe and clear it, right? They say, okay, create a stovepipe. Now, I was from the old school. If any malfunction occurred, we did tap, rack, bang. So tap, rack, bang. And usually, for most things, the most common malfunction, I guess, is not seating the magazine properly. So, but their solution is they tell you to keep your hand up here and sweep. They want you to sweep it out. So while that's good and it's fast, it's not really what I'm accustomed to. I really don't get a lot of jams with this firearm in particular. It's a SIG, but I mean it works pretty effectively. It's not a real issue. But the problem is I like to try to stay consistent with the training that I've used over the years. Tap, rack, bang is the pretty much default first thing you do if you just hear a click. And I guess the double feed is the normal way you clear. But that was just one thing that was a little bit foreign to me. So here they call it slap, rack, ready, bang, for a failure to seat. So, I mean, for a stovepipe, I mean, there's different ways, I guess, to clear it. This is one of the ways that this is the way that they choose to employ. Not a bad way, but just different than what I'm used to. They also go over a little bit of a tactical walk. I guess this was one of the first. This is actually the first time, I guess, that I've taken a class where I've actually made movement in the class. So it was interesting doing that. So they went through a couple of drills. We did some accelerated pairs, some shot placement, controlled pairs. So you can see we did a lot of different things. So overall, it was an excellent class. I would highly recommend it. It's really good for close quarter combat, like especially if you're trying to clear your house. If you have maybe, it works really well for weapons retention purposes. It keeps close to your body. The draw, I think, might be slightly faster than the standard 5-count draw into a weaver or an isosceles position, because your arms aren't extended as far, which makes you a more compact target. Which also, I forgot to mention that they used either an extremely modified weaver stance or a bladed stance towards the target. So it's very interesting in that aspect as well, because I'm used to having my shoulders square to the target, and this is just a little bit different feeling altogether. But I think it's pretty effective, especially for close quarter combat. At long range, it might have some limitations, but 15 yards and under, I think it's very effective. So anyway, if you want to check these guys out, you can go check them out on their website. It's not on here, but it's if you just Google civilian arms training, it'll come right up. And they do all C.A.R.S systems trainings. They have a lot of different classes. I plan to take the handgun series. I might also take the tactical rifle series. It might be interesting to see what they have to say on tactical rifles and how that system applies to that. But anyway, that's all I have for now. I just thought I'd get this out there. There's not a lot of reviews of actually being there. I didn't get to shoot any video when I was there. I didn't want to hold up the class or anything like that, so I didn't really take any video. Might try to do that with the next class. It sounds like there might be some more drills that I might just be waiting at some point, so I might be able to do some filming. So hopefully I'll be able to do that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe.